because there's like, I remember this one song where Jesus is like, you don't worship me enough, and then the people are like, we do love you, Jesus, and Jesus is like, I don't believe that. And I'm just kind of like, wow, Jesus, you're kind of a jerk. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the musical theater tag. But before we get started, I'm Sophia Lovelace and I post theater videos, comedy videos, and style videos. So if any of that stuff interests you, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below to be notified when I have new uploads. I upload around once a week, sometimes twice a week, so you do not want to miss out when I have those uploads. Alright, so today I decided that I'm going to be filming a short little video because I don't have a lot of time this week. Between a full-time university course load and 2 jobs, and also being exam season, it's kind of crazy. But I still really wanted to post a video on YouTube because I love YouTube so much, and I love musical theater so much, so I didn't not want to post a video this week. In this video, I'm going to be reading off questions and then answering them myself with my opinions to the questions, or the answers to the questions, or I'm just going to get into it. You'll see what's going on when you watch it. Number 1, what was the first musical you ever saw? Live? I would say, I think it was The Wizard of Oz. This was about maybe when I was like 9 years old. I went to go see a professional regional production of The Wizard of Oz. And this one was particularly special to me because how they did the Emerald City was that they looked at the audience and then they projected green onto the audience. The audience was the Emerald City, and the Cowardly Lion looked at me. Now I know as an actor you just pick someone in the audience at random to be kind of like your sight line, but the Cowardly Lion picked me, and it was like the most awesome magical thing that's ever happened. What was your favorite musical growing up? So I'd probably have to say my favorite musical growing up was The Wizard of Oz. I don't think I liked it because it was a musical. I just really loved the movie. I think I really liked it as a kid because of all the bright characters and then the variety of characters. But also as a kid, I really liked like Barbie movies, which has a lot of singing in them. I also really liked a lot of Disney princess movies, and I think Belle was my favorite. And it's still one of my favorite Disney movies. Now Frozen is like my favorite, I would have to say, favorite Disney movie, but that wasn't out when I was a kid. So maybe it's a tie between The Wizard of Oz and Beauty and the Beast. Were you ever in a musical? So I'm still trying to get into musicals. I've been in a couple. I was in a musical when I was 13 called Read Between the Lines, which is basically like a knockoff version of Into the Woods. I played this evil stepmother from Cinderella in that. In first year of high school for my choir class, we did The Sound of Music, or I was part of The Sound of Music, so the older senior production of The Sound of Music needed people to play the nuns, and so our class, for like our exam, we played the nuns. And then I think I was also in a musical called Santa's Cookie Problem. And I think the last musical I was in was Zack and the Magic Bluestone, which was my first professional production. It was the very first time that I got paid for acting, and I did that during the summer. I have a whole bunch of videos on this channel. I think I also have a playlist. I might link that down below because we went to go travel around and perform it in different communities. What was the very first musical you saw on Broadway? So I've never been to New York. However, I live fairly close to Toronto, and the Edinburgh Theatre has a lot of productions that come like straight from Broadway. And I do think it technically counts as a Broadway theater because the way something is considered a Broadway theater is the amount of seats that are in a house. I forget the numbers, but if something's off Broadway, it has a certain amount of seats. If something's off Broadway, then it has a lesser amount of seats. And I think it might have been Kinky Boots. I also saw Rent, which I know is technically a Broadway musical, but I saw it at a regional production of it. So I don't know if that counts as like my first Broadway musical because it's a Broadway show, but it didn't have the number of seats in a house. If you could be any female character in any musical, who would you be and why? I think that this question is asking like who I would like want to become as a character, not who I would like to play. But if you want to see what characters I would love to play, like my Broadway dream roles, you can go watch the video up here. I did a video, it was one of the first videos on my channel. If I wanted to trade lives with any Broadway character, I think it would have to be Christine Daae or maybe Carlotta from Phantom of the Opera, which you may be surprised by because a lot of things happen, like the Phantom goes around murdering people in the theater. But honestly, if I was Christine Daae, I would be so happy because I get to do what I love. I get to perform. I get to be an opera singer, which would be so fun because one of my favorite parts of performing is singing. I also love languages, so I get to learn different languages and sing different languages. That'd be so cool. You get to wear cool costumes. You marry the Vicomte de Chagny, which is awesome because money's good. So basically, I have money and I can do my favoriteest thing in the world, which is performing. But if I couldn't be Christine Daae, I'd love to be Carlotta because she's such a diva and she has cute dogs and she gets to perform and be a diva, and I love that too. And the next question is, which male character would you like to be? Since I've already said Christine, I don't think I can say the Phantom because I think the Phantom would be cool because I really love singing low notes. But I don't think that's fair, so I'm gonna say maybe Damien from Mean Girls because I'm basically Damien, but just less cool. Favorite musical song to sing in the shower? Now I use the shower usually to do vocal warm-ups because I don't have a lot of time in the day, and then also being in a hot shower is like good for your throat, especially during the winter time, and I live in Canada. The winter time is a very long time. So when I don't feel like doing vocal warm-ups, I sing Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid. I sing Good Morning Baltimore. Phantom of the Opera songs are also great to sing. I like to sing like Meg Jury's songs sometimes, or her little parts that she has, just to keep practicing my head voice. Who is your favorite theater actress? Probably Kirsten Chesowitz. I love how she is excellent at comedy. She's not afraid of looking goofy or silly on stage. The next question is, who is your favorite male theater actor? And for that one, I would have to say Alex Brightman. So I love Alex Brightman for a variety of reasons. For those of you who don't know, Alex Brightman currently plays Beetlejuice on Broadway. His characterization, his body movement, his facial expressions, his singing ability, his acting ability, just everything is just perfect for Beetlejuice. It's not a cardboard copy of the movie, but it is such a good interpretation of Beetlejuice. Favorite film adaptation of a musical? It's probably maybe 2009 Fame. I love 2009 Fame so much. I haven't seen the original. I feel like I should because I love the 2009 version of Fame so much. If you haven't seen Fame, you need to click off of this video. Just kidding, wait until this video is over. Click off this video, then go watch Fame. What do you think is an underrated musical? So I have two. I think that Something Rotten is so underrated. It should have won more Tonys than it did. It only won one Tony, and that went to the actor who played Shakespeare, which was Christian Borle. But I definitely think it probably should have won Best Musical because it's hilarious. The audience is always laughing. It's just a great show. There's jokes for everyone. If you love musical theater, you're gonna love Something Rotten. If you love Shakespeare, you're gonna love Something Rotten. If you hate Shakespeare, you're gonna love Something Rotten. If you hate musical theater, you're gonna love Something Rotten. I also think The King and I is another underrated show. Because I think that the message behind it is so awesome and so good, and especially if you think about the time period that The King and I was written. This is a perfect example of the importance of cultural relativism compared to cultural or ethical imperialism. Oh my goodness, so it's actually 75 years old. It was written in 1944, so this year, 2019, it's been out for 75 years. What is an overrated musical? Jesus Christ Superstar, Cats, Sunset Boulevard. What musical made you cry? So I have two musicals that have made me cry so much. The first is Rent. I love Rent. I love the story of Rent so much. I wish I could watch Rent again, but I start watching it and I get to about one song, Glory, and then I turn it off because it's too sad and I can't handle it. And even if I listen to the Glee version of Seasons of Love, I still get sad because then I get sad that Glee is over. Kinky Boots, especially the song Not My Father's Son, I started bawling in the theater, and then even though intermission happened right after that, I was crying through intermission, and then the second act, I started crying again when there was a conflict between Charlie and Lola, and they were fighting, just a little fight. You shouldn't be like crying that much because of that little of a fight. But then I started bawling again. So Kinky Boots, that song made me so sad I couldn't enjoy the rest of the musical. What musicals made you laugh? Something rotten. But there is a play called She Stoops to Conquer, and I laugh a lot at that one, but that one's not a musical, so we won't include that on this list. But I included it in this video, so maybe I did include it on this list. Are there any musicals you saw and hated? I think the only musical that I saw that I literally stopped the movie was Jesus Christ Superstar. What they were singing about made me really kind of hate Jesus. Because there's like, I remember this one song where Jesus is like, "You don't worship me enough." And then the people are like, "We do love you, Jesus." And Jesus is like, "I don't believe that." And I'm just kind of like, wow, Jesus, you're kind of a jerk. And that's like, made me feel really weird because Jesus is not a jerk. So, yeah. What musicals do you want to see as a film? So I've wanted to see Wicked as a film for so long, and I know they're turning Wicked into a movie, but I really want to see that movie. Also, I say this a lot too, but I wish that there was another musical movie of Sweeney Todd, because I feel like a lot of people's first exposure to Sweeney Todd is through the Tim Burton movie. And if you're not really a Tim Burton fan, or if you didn't like what he did with the story, then you might not pay attention to the music or the storyline. Which musicals are you dying to see? Well, dying is a very dramatic word. What musicals I would like to see are probably Hadestown, and Beetlejuice, Hamilton when it gets to Toronto. However, I don't think that's likely because tickets for Hamilton went on sale recently in Toronto, and there was a very long line, which is not typical for Toronto or Canada to have massive lines like that for musicals or anything like that. Any movie or book that you think should be turned into a musical? I've said this in one of my previous videos. I think this was like my 25 Halloween musicals video, but I think Hocus Pocus would make an amazing musical. Is that it? I think that's it. That's it. So that is the end of my video today. I will be leaving the questions down in the description box below. So if you want to do this tag, if you even want to do this tag like in the comments down below, go do that. I would love to read your answers. If you like this video, make sure to please give it a big thumbs up. In the name of Dionysus, the god of theater, make sure to subscribe. You wouldn't want to make Willie Shakes upset, would you? And I think that's it for today. And